Fed Chair Jay Powell surprised investors on Wednesday during his press conference, noting that disinflationary process has begun. Investors took that to mean fewer rate hikes real soon and potentially higher stock prices. That sent Sozzi in search of disinflation in corporate earnings calls. The script has flipped a little bit today. The narrative's changed a little bit today.
That's me looking for disinflation.
But what we're hearing from companies has not changed. Like, even jobs report aside, companies are still talking a lot about prices.
They are, and look, we just talked to Starbucks CEO Rachel Ruggieri moments ago, and we asked her if she's seeing disinflation in her items. She said, no, still seeing high levels of inflation. But ultimately, I think at first it is important to break down what in the world disinflation is, because it is not deflation. So here is disinflation just decoded. It's used to describe the slowing pace of inflationary pressures. Look at it another way. It is a decrease in the percentage change in inflation. It is not deflation. So very important thing to just point out there and consider as you're starting to hear these disinflation discussions pop up. Now, where we might be seeing some disinflation here, I went through a couple of earnings calls from this week. Going to start with Brinker CEO Kevin Hochman on his EPS call. He came on here on our network yesterday, talked about the turnaround at that brand, saying that commodity inflation for the quarter increased meaningfully year over year and will continue to be a headwind, although at a diminishing rate as we move through the rest of the fiscal year. To me, that smells like disinflation. Next up, Otis CEO Judy Marks. They reported earnings this week. I talked to her on the phone. She said, we see commodities have already become tailwinds in China. We saw that last year. They've turned now in the Americas, but they haven't turned yet in Europe. I would also call that some disinflation. And the McCormick CFO, Mike Smith, on his earnings call. McCormick, of course, the maker of some amazing spice that you probably rub all over your fishes and meats. The impact of cost inflation will be weighted toward the first half of 2023 with peak inflation in the first quarter. So maybe some disinflation at the likes of McCormick and some of its competitors. My take is this, and it's something to keep in mind as we talk about this more. Not every company is seeing disinflation, so be careful, bulls. Like I just mentioned, Starbucks CFO Rachel Ruggieri still warning investors that inflation remains high, and in some line items for them, they're just not seeing costs come down.
Disinflation after they had to do a period for some of these retail companies of discounting or price normalization again.
We could all use a price break at this point. It's been about 2 years of rampant inflation, double-digit increases. Get us some disinflation.
I mean, to your point, though, about people being careful, I mean, some of the consumer products companies, for example, Colgate-Palmolive said prices are still going up. Yep. So you definitely have to pick and choose on that front.
So true.